Any examples used are for illustrative purposes only and do not take into account your particular investment objectives, financial situation, or needs, and may not be suitable for all investors. It is not intended to predict the performance of any specific investment and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy.
This is another Money Show. Get set for another hour of the latest financial information and economic news affecting your bottom line. JR and Anthony are committed to helping more Americans like you optimize their income, reduce their tax risk, and reach financial freedom. So let's start the show. Here are your hosts, Anthony Correo and JR Rochford.
Here we are, your hosts, Anthony Correo and J.R. Rochford, taking a break from our day-to-day as financial advisors with Rochford and Associates, a fully independent fourth-generation family office right here in the greater Phoenix area to bring you information you may not find on those other financial shows. We are aware the last thing you need is another money show, but we appreciate you being here. What do you got on deck, J.R.?
You sound a little mellow today. Is everything okay?
Oh, no. I've got a laundry list of stuff I want to talk to you about today. I'm very excited.
Sweet.
I'm prepared.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to give you much time. I'm getting to data centers today, so I have a lot too. So let's knock out the general stuff and jump right into it then, because if we both have a lot, we got a lot to do. We got to hurry. So first thing, shout outs as usual. You know, we say thank you a lot to Sam Davis, the one and only Sam Davis, and Shelby, for keeping this whole thing going. We have to say thank you to Kelly and Connor and them too. I mean, we have to remember Ford Strategies has helped us get this whole thing started and keep it going. So we're going to be with those fine folks this week. And kind of reminded me, we should say thank you more than we do to them too. So Kevin, our one and only Kevin, another one and only, was in the office this week. So thank you for coming and seeing us. We'll see him next week too. Next week is our West Valley Men's Networking meeting, but there is an update. I think I brought this to you a few weeks ago. We are going co-ed. So we are no longer going to be the West Valley Men's Networking. I guess we're just going to be the West Valley Networking. A few people gave us ideas on names. I'll have to go back and look, but I'll post something on Facebook. But if you want to meet us in a more casual setting, if you want to come hang out with us, we will be at Throne on 67th Avenue, just north of Bell, on Tuesday. That'll be the 9th. So come see us, come meet us. Bring your wife, bring your girlfriend. Just don't bring both on the same day. Couple things for you. Donald J. Trump, you know, he likes to get a rise out of people. I'm fairly certain. Anthony, you may or may not have heard of this. The administration is looking into coming out with a $250 bill. Did you hear about that?
I did.
I think that's just amazing. First of all, it's going to help saddle. Man, Freud just lit up a cigar. It's going to help settle the national debt, because how many people like me are going to shell out the $250 and buy one and have zero intention of spending it? That's going to be a collector's item for all of history. So that'll be passed down generation to generation. So when they come out, grab your $250 bill. Just don't spend it. That'll help with the debt. When they're on eBay, they're going to be a lot more money too. So get them when they're new. UFC, the big Freedom 250. Have you heard about that? There's another way to get a rise out of the country. Heads are going to explode this summer. Apparently, on June 14th? I think it's June 14th. I think it's coming up. They're putting in a big ring right now for a UFC fight at the White House. So I don't know. I think it's in honor of Trump's 80th birthday. But I just find all this stuff funny. Is it just a giant distraction? Is it really important stuff? I don't know. To me, no matter what the case, it is funny. One more thing to knock out as quickly as possible. Let's do a real short Festivus item today, and then we'll get into what you have to say. I'm actually going to let you go first today, Anthony, because there's no way you'll ever get to once I start on data centers. So here's a quick one. And if you're new with us, what we do is the Festivus report is a report that Rand Paul puts out every year, and it talks about the previous year's wasteful spending. It just scratches the surface We found a lot more than what's in the Festivus report, but he sums up a bunch of them. And instead of reading a whole ton of them at the beginning of the year, this year we're trying something different, and we're reading one each week until we run out. So we'll see if it makes it through the entire year. I don't know if there's 52 of them or not. So this one, the amount wasted is only $2 million. So this is amateur day. In case you need more proof that USAID needed to go, while Americans juggle bills, Washington is wiring money overseas so activists can underwrite sex changes and LGBT political advocacy in Guatemala. USAID awarded $2 million to Asociación Lambda for gender affirming care, activism, and influence campaigns. Exactly the sort of culture war spending most taxpayers don't expect to find their foreign aid receipt. As I noted in an op-ed, these USAID gender grants in Guatemala are a perfect example of how waste hides in plain sight. Programs dressed up as diplomacy that do nothing to advance America's interests. This isn't disaster relief or clean water. It's social engineering abroad, funded by people who never got a vote on it. So that's a quick one. Interesting. There's where some of your tax dollars are going. In case you were wondering, they're not all going just to Ukraine and Iran and Israel and all that. All right, Anthony, I'm kind of excited because I was traveling. You left for travel before I saw you. When I got back, you left. What's going on? I haven't caught up with you in a while.
So one's a story. Kevin, I told it to Kevin when we were in the office. I want to share it with you because we were talking about dynamic pricing and pricing surveillance. And I might have a real world scenario that literally happened within minutes. It was insane. But the stories I have on my list, and we'll see if any of them are on your list. Bernie Sanders AI bill. Do you have that on your list?
Nope.
Okay. The Silver Act.
Silver Act? Nope. Haven't heard of it.
Okay, good. Because I haven't read through all that one, so I can't talk about it anyways. Stocks.
Bring it up.
Trump stock trading. But the other two, the big ones, SpaceX and how they're going to force all of our retirement plans to pay for their IPO. Do you have that on your list?
Well, that kind of ties in what I brought up to you and Sam last week that we didn't air out yet, where Larry Fink said that they're going to use money to.
Well, you said that as in a bail-in. And that was.
Well, it's 100% a bail-in. Then I read further and I did find out that it's definitely coming. They're even warning people, if you have a 401k and you have no idea what you're invested in, get the heck out of your target date funds, your 2020, 2050, whatever, because they're funneling money out of your 401k into data centers and into stuff that you may not be in favor of. It's saying you better pick your funds if you don't want money out of there. So that's
you don't really get to pick your funds. They're all mass mutual funds of big it's like everything. Like it's large cap, small cap. You're going to be into thousands of companies in every single individual fund you have. You're not picking individual stocks in your 401ks.
No,
even if you get out of those, Vanguard retirement date 2050 funds, it's all the same when you really dig into what's inside of all of these.
Well, and Larry Fink wants to take it. So hopefully everything flies and everybody makes a bunch of money and gets to retire one day, but we'll see. So Tab, give me an idea. What's going on?
Oh, and then one more. Citizens United. Hawaii passed a bill to change the way. So Citizens United says that large corporations have that. All right, so you got that one. That one's great.
That's the only one you sent me. You sent me that one. That's the only one you sent me out of these, yes. I even always give you credit when you send me something. I always make sure I want you to have credit because you do so little for the show. When you do something, we should make a big damn deal about it.
No one has to do everything for the office.
Yes. That's why I'm glad you're there. It's usually Macy. Yeah, it's not us. So
I don't know. Honestly, the SpaceX thing, the Citizens United, the Bernie Sanders thing, they all kind of tie together a little bit. Let's start with the Citizens United then, since you've got that one. But so essentially what happens for those that haven't heard about this is Hawaii is passing a bill, and it sounds like they already passed a bill that takes away corporations' right to, or take away the corporation's power to fund state elections, right? So those that know about Citizens United, the Supreme Court came out and said that they have, is it the power or the right? Anyways, that corporations can, because of what a corporation, it's within their power to donate to elections. But what people forget is corporations are run at a state level. So every state can say what powers corporations have within their state. And that's why some corporations are incorporated in different states for tax reasons or, whatever the logistics and the power struggle is, right? And there's been a lot of stuff with corporations leaving California for that reason. But Hawaii has been the first to come out and say that corporations do not have the power. They don't have the right to fund elections. So that's going to be a huge shock to the system, because I think there's 14 other states that are trying to do something like this, including New York, California, Georgia, Montana. So this is fascinating, because this is going to be huge. Obviously, they're going to try to overturn this bill, but for Hawaii to be the first one to do this is incredible.
And I'm all behind it, because I don't care if you're on the left or the right side of the political spectrum. I think transparency, I think that this is a good thing. Let's see who's giving money to what. When you sent that article to me, I didn't dig much further than what you sent me, but I want to read one little line from this. Hawaii just made history, becoming the first state in the nation to effectively ban dark money in elections. The new law takes a novel approach. Rather than trying to restrict corporate speech, it redefines the powers corporations have in the first place, and political spending is not among them. The strategy, known as the Corporate Power Reset, was developed by Tom Moore of the Center for American Progress. At least a dozen states are now working towards passing similar laws. So obviously this is more leaning towards the blue side of the aisle. I don't give a crap. I'm happy to hear this.
Really, though, it seems to be mixed down the line when you look at all the other states that are getting, and this got passed unanimously with the Republicans as well in Hawaii.
Nice. And next, I'm going to urge them to start working on insider trading. If they can get this done, then they can move on to stock picking.
That could be a little bit more difficult, but this is going to be, I'm really curious to see how this all plays out, because they were saying that the amount of dark money moved. One of the articles I was reading said something along the effects, and I could be wrong with these numbers, is that there was like 6 million or 1 to 6 million in dark money being moved in 2006. Now, 2 decades later, that's in the billions. It's all dark money now.
Yep, it's crazy. Cool. All right, what else?
So let's go back to that SpaceX thing, because I found that fascinating. So essentially, SpaceX IPO, and they're going to just decide that they're going to be worth, was it 1.75 trillion? They're just going to be one of the largest corporations in the world. That's just kind of what they decided. They're not a profitable company. So that's awesome for them to come out and say that they are going to just be the best. They're only releasing, so there's rules to like be in the S&P 500, to be in NASDAQ, like to be in these indices, right? And that's why retirement accounts, when we talk these target day accounts, like there are rules against corporations that are making a profit being in there, because it's supposed to be safe. Like you're not day trading. This isn't for people that were really watching their money. Most of the people I talk to have no idea what's in their 401k. They have no idea what it's made up of. They don't even know what they're in. And even if they do know what they're in, they don't know what actually composes those mutual funds that they're in. So what they're saying is there's a bunch of indices that are going out of their way to cut out all the rules to make it safe for the companies that are being purchased within those indices, to allow SpaceX to get in within like 5 days of their IPO, when it should be months. And in some instances, they're supposed to prove that they can have 4 profitable quarters in a row, which again, SpaceX does not. So here's a company that doesn't turn a profit, and they have just decided they're worth almost $2 trillion. And now, if these get passed in these indices, that means anybody who runs the funds, like Vanguard has their own S&P 500 fund. There's a lot of big custodians that carry their own funds that follow these indices. They don't have a choice. If this company gets put into this indice, they have to purchase it. They don't get to choose. But you know who does get to choose? Apparently SpaceX, when they released their IPO. And they're only releasing 5% to the public. So is it truly a publicly traded company? And is this just a cash raising scheme? We're going to say that we're worth this, and we're going to put it out to the public, and now we're going to jump all the rules to make sure that people are forced to buy it at the prices that we're putting it out at?
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't know any of this, and I'm curious how it's going to go.
Yeah,
it's
we
not,
need to follow it for sure, but it is, I mean, it's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, but that's the entire market. I mean, the whole point of financial service industry is that people have no idea what's going on. You know, how many people do you think in this country know that the Dow Jones Industrial Average is only 30 companies? And you talked about performance and how they get in. They replaced Walgreens with Amazon a few years ago. We talked about it. Most people didn't know that. You know,
yeah, let's use that as an example, right? The Dow Jones 30 companies. So if anybody's out there selling a Dow Jones Indice mutual fund and they decide that they're throwing SpaceX into the mix, that means all of those funds now have to purchase that at whatever price it is. And what do retirement accounts, these target date funds, purchase? They try to do broad market, safe, reliable.
There's no broad market. The S&P 500 has been floated by 10 companies or less for the last over 10 years. You know, NVIDIA, luckily, now NVIDIA comes out today and says they're gonna start making cheaper chips, not just be the leader on the high-end chips. Yeah, so none of this is weird. And the world around us, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Elon Musk can do whatever he wants. We all know that. So, I mean, we came out with an article a month or so ago saying Elon Musk said to stop saving for retirement. I'm going to urge you to continue just in case. But, I mean, of course, he's going to rule the world.
So it said Dogecoin was the future of money, and look at...
That's not over yet. It's not over yet. I still have some Dogecoin. I don't know what it is. 11 cents. I haven't looked at it in so long. I know my XRP is down to $1.22 or something this morning. That sucks.
Back to that clip, right, that we talked about last week, because you took that clip and you said that it's talking about, you know, giving way to us being a bail-in. I said, I don't necessarily think that's what he's talking about. And then the guy who posted that clip, Jack, who is it?
I don't know. We never did play the clip for people.
Oh, you didn't actually play it. We talked about it, didn't we?
No, you and I and Sam did. We never went far enough to do it.
Oh, well, you want to talk about it now?
Not until I'm ready to play the clip. No, I found 4 or more people talking about how these Larry.
Well, anyways, there was a guy that said that we need money to fund the growth of the country, and we need it from your banks and your retirement funds and this and that. So it could be interpreted a few different ways. But what they had mentioned was IPOs. And this is a way to take it from your retirement account without your knowledge or your choice. So it's not necessarily a bail-in, but by releasing this IPO, fast tracking it into all these indices, they're taking money from you.
Well, and the Larry Fink clip that we'll have to really figure out how to bring that to people. He just straight out says we're going to take money out of your savings and out of your pension. And then the host of the YouTube channel, Johnny Bravo, said via IPO. That's not what Larry Fink said. And in my travels, the people that are conspiracy theory minded are saying he said what he said. He didn't slip. He said the quiet part out loud, however you want to phrase that. We're going a dangerous direction. By the end of this show, you're going to have a better idea what I think is the bottom line. And I think it's coming at us like a freight train. Actually, I'm going to give you the bottom line right now. We told you the bottom line when we started the show 4 years ago. This whole thing, when we went through FedNow, Executive Order 068, I don't even remember at this point. It's all going towards one world order. It's going towards a central bank digital currency. It's going to be a different world in the next 2, 3, 5, 20 years. But we're going to give you a little information on data centers in a bit. And I mean, we're in such uncharted territory. Is everything going to be like it is now in 10 years? I don't know. Could I be wrong? Sure. I just know that things are going at a furious pace. And would it surprise me at all if Blackstone, BlackRock, Vanguard decided that we shouldn't have pensions anymore? They should go to the good of the cause and they'll reward us with a big, beautiful, universal basic income. Would that surprise me a hair? Nope, not at all. But we're burning up time. Let's get to the real pricing. That's what you pique my interest with. What happened that makes you think you were a victim of it?
Oh, the YouTube, the surveillance pricing. Okay, so that story, right? So Tiffany and I get back from our vacation and just want to decompress and put on a movie. And her friend have been singing songs from the movie Pitch Perfect all weekend. Have you ever watched that movie?
I have not.
You'll hate it. Mom will love it. You'll hate it. But anyways, anytime there's a movie that I want to watch, because I'll rent movies here and there, but I pay so much every month for streaming and there's so much on there. It's like I want to take advantage of that. So how do you find out if it's on streaming without clicking every single app that you have? Google's pretty good about that. So I Google Pitch Perfect and it'll tell me if it's on HBO, if it's on Prime, if it's on this or if it's on that. It said it was on YouTube and it said it was free. We look it up. There's 3 movies in the series. It says the first 2 free, third one rent whatever. So we go and we watch the first one. And I get sidetracked. It auto plays the second one right afterwards. And we get sidetracked. I want to go play with the dog and stretch and just get up for a little bit. So we're like, okay, we'll pause it. We'll come back to this movie. My screen resets, right? All these smart TVs, they don't just leave it on the channel you're on. It resets itself. So it goes to a save screen and you got to start fresh, start over again. Comes back, resets. So I've got to put my YouTube app back on. I go to YouTube. The movie's now not free. The movie now is forced pay to rent. So I look it up on my phone, the exact same way that I found out that it was free. And I look it up on my phone, and now it says pay to rent, not just for the second movie that we're trying to watch now, but for the first movie too. The one we literally just watched for free. Now my YouTube on my phone says I have to pay to play. Even though it auto-started the second one too. It auto-started until it reset. We could have sat and we could have watched that second one for free. And I was like, well, how do I go back and prove this? So I go back to my history on my YouTube, right? So, and it should have my login, all the videos I've watched. It doesn't show that I just watched that movie. It also doesn't show that I started the second movie. So without Tiffany being as a witness, there was no way to show, but I had her look it up on her phone too. And it says now they're charging for this movie. So this movie that I just watched for free and had anticipated watching the second one for free because I literally just looked it up an hour ago. Now it resets. Now it's not for sale, or now it's for sale, not for free anymore. So did they hear that I had interest in watching this movie and figured now I can charge for it because they already have their mindset to watch this movie? Do you
realize this is the first time in 4 years you may actually sound like me? Do you realize that you just put your toe in the tinfoil hat water? Do you realize, keep your hands and feet in the cart at all times, because once you're open to things and you see things move. Sam just put on the board something interesting. Sam put, I've heard about this with airfare. You can check prices on a public library computer, and sometimes they will be lower than your own devices you have been searching on. I talk about Chewy. I don't research Chewy. That's where we get our dog food. And all of a sudden I get pop-up ads from Chewy. Then they're there for a little while. Then they're gone for a while. Then I talk about Chewy again and they show up. There's nothing that's a coincidence, Anthony.
I know that they're recording the phone call. Like they're recording and they're listening and they're using targeted 100%. Ads. And that's scary. And I don't know how to stop it. I don't know what the issue is. And I also about airplanes, because I've done that. I've looked for flights. And I've tried to go back a day or two. And I know that flights do change, pricing daily almost. But I've, shopped around, figured out what I was going to do, gone back to buy it. And it's Not just a little bit more. It's significantly more. Now it's not even closest to the prices, and I can't find it like that. Hotel's the same. But I've never seen something advertised for free. I took advantage of it being advertised for free and then have to pause, start back over. And because all this happened within half hour. We went from watching the movie to pausing the movie to trying to watch the movie again. And now it's gone.
Wow. Nope. No doubt in my mind. And by the way, a place that I finally learned to find out where things are streaming, because I was doing what you were saying. I was going to Amazon, then Netflix, then Hulu. IMBD. There's a website and an app, IMBD, and you just look up the movie you want, and it'll show a little thing on top will show you where it's playing, whether it's for free or...
I've used it before. I didn't like it as much, but
I like it.
Yeah, Google was the easy one. It's like, oh, it tells me where it's streaming. I go watch it. I'll try IMDb, but like I don't know if that'll. I don't know. That's really, really thrown me off now.
Well, and I don't use Google for anything. I use DuckDuckGo, so I have to see if that works. But with that said, we have to take a break. So, you know what you can do? You can stream Another Money Show for free anywhere you like to see podcasts. You can go to our websites like team@anothermoneyshow.com. Email us. We'll send you a link. You can go to anothermoneyshow.com or Rochford Financial. What is it? RochfordFinancial.com. Amazon, Google, Spotify, Podbean, any of those have Another Money Show. So check out old episodes. We've got 4 years worth of them. We will be right back. Thank you, as always, for being with us.
Well, JR and Anthony need a quick breather. So refill that coffee and get ready to level up your wallet. This is Another Money Show.
When you were younger, did you ever make a dumb financial decision you wish you could take back? As you're nearing retirement, are you worried one wrong move could wipe away all your years of hard work and savings? What if I told you it doesn't have to be like that? If you had a financial mishap during your working career, at least you know you had paychecks coming in to replenish that money. So why should your retirement be any different? Most companies stopped offering pensions decades ago, but what no one tells you is you can fund pensions yourself. Give yourself the peace of mind of having income you can never outlive in retirement by adding a pension as a part of your retirement plan. Assets come and go. Income is forever. I'm Anthony Correa, co-host of Another Money Show, airing Saturdays at noon on 960 The Patriot, and the fourth generation of financial advisors at Rochford & Associates in Sun City. Reach out to us and let us help you self-fund your own pension today at 623-523-0444. That number again is 623-523-0444. Or find us on the web at anothermoneyshow.com.
Welcome back to Another Money Show. To schedule your free, no-obligation consultation with JR and Anthony, visit anothermoneyshow.com or call 623-523-0444.
Welcome back to Another Money Show. Thank you so much for being with us. You know we greatly appreciate it. So let's jump right back into things. I want to get to a couple general articles really quickly, and then I want to spend the rest of the show talking about data centers because it is definitely growing legs, as I always say. So here's something for you from the End Time headlines. On the 31st of May, your own Wi-Fi router is secretly scanning your body and identifying exactly who you are. I found this interesting because all my recent reading on flock cameras and data centers and robotics and everything going on, I'm like, this is all crazy. This is all stuff that we could never dream of. So I hit this one. I was like, holy cow. So according to a report from Futurism, every day household Wi-Fi routers are capable of scanning human bodies and uniquely identifying people through signal distortions, raising urgent questions about widespread surveillance potential. Keep in mind, when I get to data centers, I want to know what's going to be in the data centers. Well, maybe I just got part of the answer. Researchers have demonstrated that ordinary Wi-Fi equipment can detect and recognize individuals by analyzing how radio waves interact with their unique physical characteristics, even without the person carrying any connected device. This technology works in various conditions, including through walls, and relies on existing hardware already present in millions of homes worldwide. The system captures distinctive biometric signatures created as Wi-Fi signals reflect off of bones, organs, and body composition. In testing, it achieved near perfect identification rates, with one experiment reaching 99.5% accuracy during normal walking movements. Another researcher highlighted the privacy risks, noting with this hardware making its way into millions of homes, the privacy concerns are severe. The findings underscore how standard routers using unencrypted beamforming feedback data could potentially track location, activity, and identity without specialized equipment. While research highlights innovative sensing capabilities, it also signals a new frontier in passive monitoring that demands attention from privacy advocates and policymakers. So apparently a Wi-Fi router can be a flock camera for your body instead of your car. I found that interesting. Anthony, since you have dipped your toe into the conspiracy theory water, maybe you can look into that a little bit with me, and we'll see how scary it is. Here's kind of a follow-up. We had the mayor in California that turns out was a Chinese spy. We've had Eric Swalwell. We had the guy last week. We had the Chinese dude that ran a police station in New York City. Here's another one for you. Now we're going into journalism. This is from MSN.com. Ooh, it's not the end time headlines. I'm sorry. American journalist charged with serving as unregistered agent for China. An American journalist and political commentator who has lived in the U.S., is facing criminal charge in the U.S. of acting as an agent for the Chinese government. Thomas Palkin, if you're listening, Palkin, I'm sorry, there's no L. Thomas Palkin II, he's Thomas Palkin II, allegedly prepared confidential reports that his Chinese handler told him were being conveyed to Chinese President Xi Jinping, according to an affidavit FBI Special Agent Timothy Healy submitted in federal court. So I guess I don't have to read much about that, but we are definitely infiltrated by technology and the Chinese. Switching gears to another part of our government. So here's something from my old friends. I haven't been on your site in a while. Zero Hedge on the 28th of May. FBI arrests CIA official with 40 million in gold bars, 2 million in cash stashed in his home. In what may be the most bizarre story of the week, if not all 2026, the New York Times reports that a senior CIA official was arrested last week after investigators found hundreds of gold bars worth over 40 million stashed in his Virginia residence, a non-fiat fortune that he apparently brought home from work, according to court papers. The CIA official, David Rush, is being held in jail while he awaits a detention hearing in the coming days on charges of stealing public money by filling out fraudulent timesheets. Okay, I'm going to stop there. $40 million in gold bars, $2 million in cash, and 35 Rolex watches. That's what they found in this guy's house. So that's great. That's a public official. We need him on the Festivus report. Let's jump into data centers. Is that okay? Anthony, you good? You still with me?
Nope, but go on.
Okay. So here some of these things. I'm not going to read the source on purpose because it's people's names. I just surfed around a little while. I surfed on the internet. I surfed YouTube. I surfed Facebook. I've always told people I think Facebook is a train wreck. I think it's garbage. I think it's just laden with ads now. I think it's broken up marriages. It's done a lot of harm. It's also a really good social barometer of our country and our world. So is TikTok and Instagram and all the other ones. But Facebook is, for people my age, it's a really good place to stalk people. I don't know, but you read a lot on there. Then you have to pick and choose what you vet and verify. You can't just take it at face value. But I found a whole bunch on data centers. So I thought I'd share some of it. So I'll just give the first name, and I have all this. If you need a copy of all this, I can get it to you. But the woman's name is Michelle. Michelle puts Trump made AI data centers a national security issue, so locals can't stop them. On July 23rd, 2025, Trump signed Executive Order 14318, titled Accelerating Federal Permitting of Data Center Infrastructure. This executive order classifies AI data centers as military operations, stripping communities of their ability to put up roadblocks while claiming the data centers are necessary for purposes of national security. I thought that's a bold statement. So I went further and I did what Anthony would have done years ago. And I went right to whitehouse.gov. Mind you, I did not go to whitehouse.com. I went to whitehouse.gov and I looked up July 23rd, 2025. I looked up the presidential actions accelerating federal permitting of data center infrastructure is the executive order. So she was spot on. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered my administration has inaugurated a golden age for American manufacturing and technological dominance. We will pursue bold, large-scale industrial plans to vault the United States further into the lead on critical manufacturing processes and the technologies that are essential to national security, economic prosperity, and scientific leadership. Aren't all the scientists dying? There's not much leadership left. These plans include artificial intelligence, data centers, and infrastructure that powers them, including high voltage transmission lines and other equipment. It will be a priority of my administration to facilitate the rapid and efficient build out of this infrastructure by easing federal regulatory burdens. In addition, my administration will utilize federally owned land and resources for the expeditious and orderly development of data centers. This usage will be done in a manner consistent with the land's intended purpose to be used in the service of the prosperity and security of the American people. I'll stop there, even though this is several pages long. So, and by the way, the next president that comes in may very well switch gears, reverse course, and, get rid of this, but we will see. Let's get to a few just general things about data centers. A new Gallup poll, this is from ABC 15, new Gallup poll shows roughly 7 out of 10 Americans don't want to see AI data centers built near where they live. The poll comes as multiple data center projects are being considered around Arizona. Who are the three? Anthony, Sam, since I have you with me, are either of you worried about data centers? Are you okay with them? Are you a wait and see? Are we good? Would you?
Well, you use electronics for everything. All of that data and processing has to go somewhere. So
right.
Yeah,
Why can't I use it and then move on? Why can't the Wi-Fi router scan my body and then shut the hell up? Why can't I use my phone and put whatever I want on Facebook? Why can't I message Macy in the office?
Okay, so if you want to go look back and look at what you posted on Facebook a year ago, where's that information?
I don't want to. Get rid of it.
If you want to go back and review your texts, if you want to go back and look at your pictures, that's all data that has to be stored somewhere. And everything we're doing.
So it's a big cloud.
So where does that go to?
I have no idea. It's a big cloud, right? And by the way, is the cloud just a bigger computer than my computer? Can the cloud have problems if we have a solar flare?
Data centers. It's a box that stores data. It's a hard drive.
Okay, so you're one of the three.
A hard drive that is stored somewhere. That is.
So I'm moving on. You're one of the three. You're okay with this? You're okay with the direction we're going with?
Well, what are they doing with it? Because right now, literally everything that you do with your computer, streaming, all of that, data centers aren't something that's new. If we're going to start getting AI and doing more stuff with electronics, which obviously we are, everything is evolving towards electronics. You're going to have something process all of that.
Well, data centers seem to be new. You just said they're not new. I never heard the word a year ago. We started hearing AI. We started easing into things. We've heard robotics since I was a kid, but we started hearing more about AI the last couple of years. When we started
this is what
5 years ago.
been doing since he graduated from college.
Okay. And I'm pretty well versed, and I'm always, listening to the radio, watching YouTube. I'm always out there. Zach may have heard of data centers years ago. I didn't. Most of our listening audience didn't. So Zach is probably who I should have on the show and ask if there's anything nefarious. I will read one statistic to you. I'm going to read the top 10. I'm going to read the top 10 nations. What kind of data center they're growing? Japan, 186. Netherlands, 192. Australia, 258. India, 265. France, 265. Canada, our neighbors to the north, 275. China, this one surprised me, 361. United Kingdom, 428. Germany, 443. The United States of America at number 1 on data center in progress, 3,757. That is as of May 2025. So China, 361 in progress of being built. United States, 3,700. We're a pretty small country. So, and I do have a question about this data centers. The effects of all this stuff, that's great. They can save what I typed on Facebook, whatever you said a year ago. That's fantastic. If I want to read an email that I sent to the one and only Sam Davis 4 years ago, I'll be able to retrieve it. That's fantastic. I'm willing to relinquish my right to do that. I'll save smaller amounts of stuff that's more important to me if I have to. But what about carbon footprint? We heard a lot about carbon footprint. What about global warming? Al Gore, if you're still one of our loyal listeners, call me. I have questions. Global warming. What about the energy and water conservation efforts? What about traffic near these centers? What about wildlife? We used to worry about spotted owls and stuff like that. What's it going to do to the wildlife? What about community character? It's going to change cities. There's a lot of effects that I don't think we understand yet when you're in a 50-state small country putting up almost 4,000 of these things. Let's move on. In less than a year, this is from the End Time Headlights, but just a social media blast they put out. This is not from an article. It's just a little thing they put out on social media. In less than a year, families, businesses, and the entire Lake Tahoe community could lose their primary electricity source. NV Energy is pulling the plug on Liberty Utilities after May 2027. Oh, good, you have another year, kids, to feed a massive new data center powering the AI boom for tech giants like Google, Apple, and Microsoft. This beloved Sierra Nevada paradise, home to ski resorts, lakeside casinos, and millions of annual visitors, is now caught in a high-stakes energy crisis, with 75% of its power historically coming from NV Energy. Liberty and its 49,000 customers are left scrambling for alternatives in a tangled web of California and Nevada regulations. Ooh, that almost sounds like water shortages. Local voices are sounding the alarm. It's like we don't exist, says North Lake Tahoe resident Danielle Hughes. Residents have little leverage as short-term fixes risk long-term instability in the Western energy grid. Now, I'm going to move on to the part that I want to bring forth. This is also something I found on social media. Something's totally off about the number of data centers being built. In parentheses, it says over 3,000 right now, and the sheer size and compute power they represent. They are massively overbuilding capacity that can't possibly be met by customer demand for compute. So this is straight up Anthony saying this is not capturing my Facebook post. And customer revenues can't possibly recover the financial investment needed on these projects. There's clearly some other plan afoot, and I don't know yet what it is. It involves massive compute, and not merely to serve inference or hosting databases and corporate data. There's a much larger plan at work here. What if it really is 15-minute cities, smart cities? What if it really is to do social credit scores on you, Anthony? What if it really is to usher in the central bank digital currency, and they are finally ready within the next months or years to push the button and reset our entire country and the globe? I don't know. Is that too much of a stretch? Here is from Thomas. This is from Thomas on Facebook. They call them data centers because calling them mass surveillance centers would cause a national uprising. No, it wouldn't. We don't get upset about anything. If I go to work without my cell phone, I freak out. I feel naked. I got to go back home. Can't even be on work on time. If my favorite TV show is interrupted by something, a fireside chat or something, I freak out. But no, it's not going to cause a national uprising. We're like little sheep. Wake up, people. The government and big tech don't build billion-dollar facilities in the middle of nowhere just to store your family photos. They are building the infrastructure for a surveillance state, one capable of monitoring your speech, mapping your behavior, tracking your movements, analyzing your purchases, harvesting your biometrics, and building a real-time digital profile of your entire life. And they package it under buzzwords like AI, security, and innovation. So the public blindly applauds the expansion of the very system built to monitor them. Wake up before it's too late. All right. I'm more in line with that dude, Thomas. Let's get to how things are developing behind the scenes at the data centers. Here's from the End Time headlines on the 28th of May. And by the way, your neighbor, Alex, also sent me a similar article last night, or maybe he put it on Facebook. I don't know, but I haven't read it yet. So it seems very related, though. U.S. law enforcement issues dire alert. Anti-tech extremism explodes as hatred for AI reaches a boiling point. This is insane. Federal authorities are directing increased surveillance toward individuals and groups expressing strong opposition to rapidly advancing artificial intelligence and data center expansion, classifying such activities under a new category of potential domestic threat. So apparently, if the FBI or the CIA moves their gold bars out of the way and listens to another money show, guess where I'm going after today's show? So this is interesting.
So are you in support of that then? The uprising?
Not at all. Not at all. The uprising, sure. I think these data centers are pure evil. I think this is even more unworldly, like perhaps going to usher in the mark of the beast, but I won't take you that direction.
So are we fighting back or are we being cheaple? Like, are you feeling strong
enough? The last articles talk about how to fight back. There's a little bit of room to fight back, but we're not going to win. But let me read a couple more things from this article, and then I'll get
people out there burning down data centers.
Well, they're all going to be in some sort of a prison. The FBI is getting ready to round them all up.
Isn't that what this country was built on? It was built on revolution.
It was, and maybe it's time.
Isn't just
time for people to wake up.
Legal.
Maybe it's time. And you smirk. I mean, you're laughing right now, but you're the one that's going to have to live in this 30 or 40 years after I'm dead. So we'll see how funny it is if the rest of your life is a little different than it is now. And maybe I'm wrong. And don't forget, we're financial guys during the week. So we can help you until the day comes that there's rounding up, extremists. We can help you with your income and your Roth conversions. We can do the normal stuff too for you. I gotta point that out in the meantime. So let's see here. This shift comes against a backdrop of recent attacks on tech executives, widespread protests targeting the data infrastructure, and broader societal unease about technological change. Documents obtained by the outlet, spanning more than 1,000 pages from federal and fusion center sources, reveal a coordinated effort to monitor activities ranging from online discussions to local demonstrations. A New York Intelligence and Counterterrorism Bureau report specifically warns of future unrest, stating the chaotic atmosphere that may result from the emergent AI technology in the next 5 years may fuel large-scale protests that devolve into civil unrest and anti-tech violent extremist activity, especially in large urban areas such as New York City. Experts cited in the reporting express caution about the breadth of this new category. Spencer Reynolds, senior counsel at the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, told Wired that's the publication Wired, that such intelligence efforts often blur lines between protected speech and genuine threats. These intelligence reports are part of a long tradition of agencies identifying protest or even simply having strong opinions as precursors to violence. Let me get to the solution part. How much time do we have left? Sam said we have 6 more minutes, so that's now probably 4 or 5. Let me buzz through a couple more things. And we're not done today. We're going to have to talk about data centers on an ongoing basis. I just wanted to hit it hard and heavy this week because we went from no talk of data centers a year ago to holy cow, am I seeing a lot. Experts, this is from MSN.com on the 27th. Experts discover a hidden hazard from AI data centers, and people are angry. Data centers in Phoenix raise the temperature of the surrounding area by a significant amount, a new study finds. Researchers from Arizona State University took a closer look at waste heat, the heat produced by a machine as a byproduct of doing its work at a data center located in the Phoenix metro area. They found that the neighborhoods downwind of the data center saw their temperatures go up by 4 degrees in a city that already boasts some of the hottest temperatures in the country. Saylor said that generally researchers who examine urban heat, sometimes called urban heat islands, often only consider construction materials like brick and concrete, as well as a lack of moisture and vegetation. Now, however, Saylor said that heat from data centers has become one of the most significant factors driving local warming in neighborhoods in close proximity to the data centers. In April, United States, we've got one going up in Tonopah. I'm trying to get to the end ones. I'll save a few of these from next week. I think we're going to have to keep talking about this for a while, but we'll see. This one says Americans across the country are taking the bill for AI in their monthly electric bill. It talks about how your bills are going to go up. Here's one from ABC 15. Arizona landowner group scoops up more acreage to expand their data center empire. A major Arizona landowner is scooping up more acreage in the far West Valley to set it up for data center campuses. Arizona Land Consulting acquired 956 acres in Tonopah for $25 million on May 20th. CEO Anita Verma-Lalian told the Business Journal. As a result, the firm now owns 4,000 acres of vacant desert land across 3 separate sites in Tonopah, which is about an hour's drive west of Phoenix. The latest chunk it acquired was set up for a master plan community called Desert Whisper in 2007, which never materialized. Arizona Land Consulting will now start the process of getting it rezoned for industrial and data center uses. My friends Mike and Ellen live out there. I don't want to hear that. The last couple things, because I know we're getting close in time, and then I'll weed through this for next week or the upcoming weeks. County drops data center pause and pushes for emergency ban after heated hearing. I'll save that for next week. That's in Maryland. Ohio to halt data center tax credits as opposition grows. So they're going to try to stop governmental funding. I'm going to stop
a lot
there.
of it, too, is kind of you brought up earlier, is that they're going to stop taking public resources and give them all to these data centers. And they're also not charging these data centers what they would if they were a public or entity. And that's the scary part.
It's all scary.
Known scary part. There's other scary parts, but there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of speculation.
And if Zach can come on and talk to us about why I should bring my heat down a little bit and not get arrested as an extremist, I would love to have him. If he's willing to come on and tell us.
Number, give him a call.
You're his friend.
I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah, but what if they overhear me and they put me into a camp? Or if they I
don't want them to overhear me. Luckily, we don't have a public documentation of this conversation. That'll be
but the government could find it anywhere they find their finer copies.
And anothermoneyshow.com. It's a good thing.
Yes, you're up. Take us out of here before I have a heart attack or a stroke. Or both.
Find my paper. You'd think after 4 years I remember that. Anyways, that is it for today's show. If you like what you heard, you have any questions on the topics, if you want to give us all of your information before the government steals it, reach out to us at team@anothermoneyshow.com. Find us on the web, anothermoneyshow.com. Schedule appointments with us using that evil technology from our website. It links to calendar. It looks like our calendar. You can say, oh, this day works for me to talk to JR and Anthony. And then you can set a schedule with us and we can chat. Give us a call, 623-523-0444. That number again is 623-523-0444. And that number one last time is 623-523-0444. Thanks again for listening. You'll catch another Money Show next Saturday at 5 a.m. and noon right here on 960 The Patriot.
Thanks for listening to Another Money Show. You deserve to work with a private wealth management firm that will strategically work to protect your hard-earned assets. To schedule your free, no-obligation consultation, visit anothermoneyshow.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, BCM, a registered investment advisor. BCM and Rochford Financial are independent of each other. Insurance products and services are not offered through BCM, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Past performance cannot be used as an indicator to determine future results.
Any examples used are for illustrative purposes only and do not take into account your particular investment objectives, financial situation, or needs, and may not be suitable for all investors. It is not intended to predict the performance of any specific investment and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy.